This episode of the Coarse podcast has been sponsored in part by Irving Cliff Brewery. If you're in Northeast Pennsylvania and you're looking for some of the finest craft beer around, look no further than the Irving Cliff Brewery, located at 2 Chapel Street in lovely historic Honesdale. With an attention to detail that feels high-end and small-town comfort, Irving Cliff Brewery does beer, and they do it very, very well. Irving Cliff Brewery, 2 Chapel Street, Honesdale, PA 18431. Now on to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is episode number 36 of the Coarse Grind podcast. I joked with my wife earlier tonight. Now the podcast is older than she is. My wife's 35. She'll probably kill me for saying that. You know, one of the greatest things about culinary endeavors becoming so much more culturally understood is the plethora of media and information that becomes available about it. Whether it's an article, a website, or a television show, the exposure that the culinary arts has been receiving is nothing short of amazing. And if you're a loyal listener, I hope you are. If you're a new one, I hope you change into one. You know that Bravo TV's Top Chef is an amazingly fertile field for just such exposure. The story and the talent behind tonight's guest was put on display this past season for all to see, and having him on, to me, was an absolute must. Tonight's guest was born and raised in Rayne, Louisiana, hailing from a large family who lives to eat, not loves, lives. There's a big difference there. He cooks the food closest to his heart, and as such represents the new guard of Cajun chefs, wielding an updated, sophisticated approach to a cuisine that's been known for deep, rustic flavors. His culinary style is the direct result of his New Orleans Nolans fine dining experience, and growing up Cajun, Rayne, Louisiana, being in the heart of Cajun country. Since opening his Meatery with wife Amanda in 2012, our guest has twice been named a James Beard Best Chef of the South semifinalist and earned other notable accolades. All accolades aside, it's his Cajun roots that run the deepest and mean the most, with his family having lived in South Louisiana for more than 300 years. Nature, hunting, fishing, these were all among his loves, which led him to the main ingredients of the shrimp boils, fish fries, boucheries, and barbecues, leading him ever forward to his communal dining expertise that shines through today. I could go on and on, but why don't we hear from the man, the chef, the artist, the creator himself. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, my guest this evening, executive chef, owner of Toups Meatery, and culinary standout on this past season of Bravo TV's award-winning Top Chef, Chef Isaac Toups. Chef Isaac Toups, welcome to the program. Welcome to episode 36. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Man, I'm good. If I was any better, you'd have to hit me with a baseball bat just to even me out.
Speaking of baseball bat, the chef and I were talking about my 8-year-old and 6-year-old hitting each other with a wiffle ball bat. So it's a wonderful analogy, to be sure. Chef, for you and for anyone new to the program, hopefully there's a lot of you this evening, we're going to be dealing with 3 groups of questions this evening: starters, mains, and afters. Starters talk about where the chef in question came from, where the artist in question came from. Mains are going to be where they're at, what they're doing. And afters, they're a bit more off the cuff, they're a bit more out in left field, but we're not regulated by the FCC. We have a fucking good time with it anytime we ask them, and no one's been hurt. So, Chef, without further ado, tell me about where and what you grew up eating.
First of all, I'd like to say I like to have a fucking good time too. So I appreciate the availability to use the fuck word.
Here you go, sir.
I grew up in the middle of Cajun country, Rayne, Louisiana. It's the frog capital of the world. That's how kind of on the hickish side it is. We are world famous for our frogs, but it's a wonderful city in the middle of Cajun country. A lot of culture, lots of good food, and at the same time, it's still a little small town on the outskirts of a slightly bigger town called Lafayette, where I got my first cooking gig, and that's when I met my wife, and at the same time thought we need to go professional. Right. And where else are we going to go? We're going to go to New Orleans.
Yeah, because it really is, having never been there before, admittedly, and trust me, when I'm there, your front door is going to be the first place I go. All right, honestly, but it's such a unique culture / culinary culture. I mean, it's unlike really anything else in the world today. Is that true?
Well, not only is New Orleans its own culture, it's a bunch of cultures. So it's Creole meets Cajun meets Spanish meets Vietnamese meets Native American. Everybody calls on the little ranges where we come from. So I come from the Nova Scotians who were exiled from there and brought to South Louisiana. So my family name, the Toupses, have been in Louisiana for 300 years. But at the same time, I have some relatives back with some Native American. I've also got some Spanish. And when you mix New Orleans with that, you get the African Creole derivatives, and that's why you get this wonderful melting pot of New Orleans. And I choose to represent this one little part of many.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You said you mentioned Vietnamese. Is there a strong Vietnamese presence?
Yes, there is.
Really?
We don't get a lot of real definite cuisines. I don't think we have a good, strong Japanese showing. I don't think we have a good Indian showing. But what we do have is a Vietnamese strong local scene. It's absolutely wonderful. Our general manager, in fact, is Vietnamese, and the food he brings in, didn't have a blue egg until he brought me one, the live duck. Not the live duck wing.
It's the fertilized
duck egg. Yeah, you get that and go like, oh, this is great. Asians actually have a lot in common. We like our offal, we like our pig, we like our strong flavors.
Yeah, right on, man. So Rain, Louisiana, obviously, like that's been in your heart this whole time. When you were growing up, in said culture, what kind of an eater were you? Were you picky? Were you not?
Was not allowed to be picky, which was a good thing. And for better for worse, here's one of those stories where I got to let you know. My dad was a very adventurous eater, and he was not going to raise picky children. For instance, at a particular family reunion, 20 plates out on the buffet, and I said something like, "I'm not going to taste that." He grabbed me by my ear and literally made me taste everything on that goddamn table.
Really?
And I fucking hated him for it for a very long time, until probably about 8 to 10 years ago, when I realized, like, God damn it, I'm not a picky fucking child. I'm not a picky eater because of that shit.
Right. Without that experience, you wouldn't be who you are.
He force-fed me everything on that table, and everything on that table was good. God damn it. It was delicious. Awesome. It was Southern home style, South Louisiana, goddamn good food in a buffet during a family reunion, and I had the audacity to say that some of this stuff is bad. Wrong fucking answer. And it's one of the sole reasons that why I eat everything today. He was the type of guy who's like, I have a Caesar salad and I want extra anchovies. Bring me the hot peppers. Bring me what. Go to a Vietnamese restaurant and ask what are you all eating?
Right.
Bring me in the back what you're all eating for a family meal, and I want to try that shit because that's real Vietnamese food.
Oh my god.
I want to know it's fucking real.
I love it. I love it.
In rant.
Yeah. No. Continue rant by all means, but yeah, that's awesome. When you look at that childhood, whether it's before or after the buffet line of inspiration. Is there a food, or are there foods, plural, that you miss? Like, it's almost like a nostalgia, like an old picture that like calls to you from back then?
I miss the oysters I ate as a child. For some reason, the last several years of oysters in South Louisiana have not been right, or I've gotten pickier about oysters, and I've gotten pickier about my oyster shucking. Mm-hmm. So when I go to travel, that's why I'll be honest with you, I love to travel to the East Coast. They have some of the best fucking cold water salty oysters, and I eat them down here, and I'm going, god damn it, did they used to be better, or am I screwed up and full of shit?
Have you gotten picky?
Were they always this same way? And I go out and have other oysters. I went to Portland recently, where my little brother's cooking, right, and they had another good selection of oysters that were new or fattier side, a little funkier, somewhere not salty but sweet, and going, yes.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things where, from my past, I thought they were absolutely magnificent, and I can't tell if they've gotten bad or I have some reason gotten pickier about oysters. Either one of those is sad.
I would imagine.
I'm sad about that.
I would imagine with the palate that you've elevated over the years that you probably have gotten more picky. But I will say, as a native of Pennsylvania who travels to the Chesapeake and stuff like that, they are pretty on point. That's. I don't know if that holds any weight with you, but between the Chesapeake, we're going up to Chatham this summer, up in Massachusetts. So I definitely think
anytime you hand me a good salty oyster, you can keep company with me for fucking ever.
You don't need anything more than that. It's
I don't.
first fast food.
It's what I like to imagine is, can you imagine the first guy to crack up an oyster, look at it, and you know what he was? I'll tell you what he was. He was hungry. That motherfucker was just like, yeah, I eat this ball of snot or I'm gonna die. And he ate the ball of snot and he was like, not
It ain't
bad,
that
not
fucking
bad.
bad, is it?
It's better than eating my own shit.
Well, fair enough. There you go. Recycling out the door. Holy shit. So, oh, God. I'll never look at oysters the same again. Thank you.
Right. Think about that. I mean, look at that. Give it a good eye, even a
It
good
is an
proper
ugly thing, isn't it?
on the ice. Look at that. Look at that and go, wow, who is that brave motherfucker?
I mean,
Who is that brave caveman cocksucking Conan the Barbarian?
we romanticize it now, but honestly, when you look at it on whatever plate you get it on now, you've got to wonder. That's crazy.
It's a seafood flavored ball of snot.
I'm writing that down. And
Go
you know
ahead.
what? If I make shirts,
Just put my
you're in on
initials
it.
on
Seafood flavored ball of snot. There it
IT.
is. That's awesome.
Because everybody needs it sometimes.
That's right. That's right. So you've got the oysters, you've got these experiences that obviously inspire your palate from a young age. Growing up, who would you say pushed those buttons the hardest? Who was your influence?
Oh, that's definitely my wife.
Yeah?
Oh, well, younger,
You can go both. I give you permission to answer twice.
we've already. Well, I think we've already talked about like younger. That'd probably obviously be my father.
Father. Yep.
So let's go with my wife and Amanda, whom I met when I was 20 or 21. I don't really remember that well because I'm a dude.
Oh, that's still a baby. That's still a baby.
But I would have never traveled to New Orleans to pursue the cooking career.
Yeah.
Would have never quit my job after 10 years at Emerald's de Monaco.
Yep.
Which went from fry cook to executive sous chef.
Love it.
I quit that job to pursue my own cooking gig, and then would have never gone on to opening the Meatery, which we have now. And now we're like extremely successful, doing well, side projects out the ass, and like interviews with cool motherfuckers like you.
Oh my god!
And so now we're like but I never would have gone anywhere.
We're
without
her.
Really wouldn't. I've been like smoking grass in small town South Louisiana.
How you're smoking grass
and I'm smoking better grass.
That's right.
And
By the way, I'm sorry. Hi, Amanda. Thank you so much for being so cool in the emails. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, all good.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. I was actually a quick side story. We just went up to my hometown, and it's this new kind of slightly hoity-toity, but they focus on charcuterie. And it was for my birthday, and I walked in, and the front of the house came over, and started to take our order, and came over again to take the food order. And I said, do me a favor, go in the back, tell your chef, I want a charcuterie board made, however much they want to make, whatever quality they want to put on it. I want him to paint a picture for me. And it was, honest to God, one of the greatest experiences of my life. And I tell you that to tell you this, when I look at your website, I'm like, that's like the next rung of the ladder. I need to be there soon. So whatever you guys are doing is definitely working.
Right on, man. And I'm going to tell you, next time you come down, I'm going to put a hurt in you so bad, you're going to feel it for a while.
Bring it. I got a big belly and a strong liver, so.
Yeah, bring a Lipitor, bring bring some anti-anxiety medication, bring some anti-diarrheal medication, bring every type of medication.
Bring every single medication I need.
Snort that shit after this goddamn meal.
I love it, man. So you meet this wonderful, fantastic woman who answers emails like instantly, and you got to have an appreciation for that. When was the moment that you realized in your life that food wasn't just point A, point B, that it's what you wanted to do? Was it when you met her?
It was before that.
Okay.
I remember a very early age just loving to cook. Amanda gave me focus, but I've been wanting to cook since I can remember. I've always been a part of the cooking traditions of the South Louisiana Cajun people, and my parents and my initial family and my friends. It was always about cooking. So that's even beyond me.
I mean, 300 years in the same locale. with the same, wonderful ingredients and culinary culture. How do you not? How do you turn away from that?
How do you not? That's just it. Even guys who work on the oil rigs, and even guys who work in the store, or ladies who work in the emergency room, or who are doctors, they know how to cook.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that down there, there's this pervasive culture of culinary-ism, if you want to say it, Epicureanism, whichever word you want to use for it. There's just
To eat.
Yeah, just like to eat. My wife and I, we literally just did this reno. 5 weeks now, we've been eating out of our basement, basically. But now we have this huge butcher board, this long banquet-style table and everything, and we're looking forward to just presenting and cooking for people. And, we do it, and everybody comes over and wow, how did you learn to do... And it's just something I find valuable to me. And so, if you grew up with a 300-year tradition, well, no shit, what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's I never thought of it as an obligation to do it. Well, once I started doing it, I realized I had all this background that I didn't realize I had.
Right.
So when I just started making things, I realized that I've been taught so much that it's so what do you call it, innate in you.
Totally.
You don't realize you've been given a gift. And
Totally.
if you didn't capitalize on that gift, and once you realize you have those opportunities that were given to you, that holy shit, if I fail, shame on me.
Right. Oh, totally.
And then look at all the exposure I've had and all the opportunities I've been given, with some ballsy fucking hard work and some grit and some tough times.
Yeah.
Really kind of come out on the good end, of the stick. With a restaurant, and those are fucking hard to fucking run. They're cocksuckers, man.
Totally. And isn't it? I forget if it was Bourdain or Ramsey that says 75% of them go belly up first year.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Because we almost did. I mean, we were open good.
Yeah.
And we were going good, and then we got hit by Hurricane Isaac right after a year. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I always wanted a hurricane named after myself, but as soon as it almost crushed my dreams. It almost crushed all my dreams and my family's dream, and ruined me for the rest of my life.
But if anybody's going to do it, don't you want it to be the one named after you?
No, you don't want it to be that one because you don't want to be ruined. Right, it was the first time which I encumbered a debt and encumbered a situation where there's no turning back.
Sure.
There's make this restaurant happen or you are fucked. And I mean it's just fuck fuck with a 12 gauge shotgun. Fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say not gently taken out to dinner first.
No lube, no nothing. In the trunk of the cab.
Yeah, but now, look at you, man. I mean, look at where you're sitting. I mean, look at what you've done. Hell, I wouldn't have known for not having been to Louisiana of Chef Isaac Toups, and yet every single episode. You were it, man. You were it, along with Karen, who I had on a couple episodes ago. You two were I'm come on, let it be those two. Last round, holy shit, would the mouths be going? For that would have been amazing shit talk.
It would have probably made a better entertaining episode. That's for sure. I'm gonna tell you.
I would absolutely have to agree. 100%. And I've had season winners on. I've had season runners up on, but it was a little snoozy. What's that?
I said we definitely got more culture.
Oh my god! It was so much fun, man. And I'm telling you, when you went, I'm all right, I'll keep watching. I had to almost drag myself by the collar to do it. But anyway, I digress. So early age, you love to cook. Let's fast forward to post hurricanes and everything, and look at you now. Where is it that you draw your inspiration from for everything you do day in, day out? What is your main source of get up and go?
It's pretty. That's almost an unromantic question, but will be romantic once I explain it. I just really like to cook. That's not a fancy answer. That's not a rehearsed answer. I really just cook for the rest of my life, casually. If you send me to heaven or you send me to whoever believe it doesn't matter. If I could just retire and just kind of cook casually for the rest of my life, then that would be it. That would be all I needed. But I would still do it. I would still do it. I could win the lottery. I could win the big lottery, win like the billion lottery, whatever. I will wake up tomorrow, plan out a meal for about 10 to 14 people, casually cook it, stoned and naked and half drunk throughout the day, serve it at the end of the day, and then just lay around.
I cannot tell you
sleep.
how much I would pay for one seat at that table. I would have to have it be 2 seats because my wife would want to be there.
I wouldn't want any money. I would want to give it away.
How can you say then that is not a romantic answer? That's actually like one of the most romantic answers. Simply because like it's for the love of the art. You can't do better than that. I don't think.
Yeah, it's hard to explain to people, but the rest of my family are dentists,
Yeah?
and doctors in oil field industry and what the rest of them do, smart stuff.
Yeah.
So I think like hypothetically, I'm smart enough to do better money making things or things that would be higher stature, but I chose cooking simply for the fact because I can't imagine myself doing anything else.
I advise students all the time from my teaching background. I say, do what you love, the money will follow. Like
But that's not true. That's not true, man.
No?
Shit. I have worked hard, but yeah, there's a lot of broke line cooks, and I was broke for a very long time.
Right.
So the money is like kind of like just kind of started, and we don't know, and we're trying to like dump it into more restaurants.
Right. Oh, right.
Because we're idiots.
Right.
Idiots.
No. That's, I mean, isn't the restaurant, somebody said the restaurant industry is like a tattoo? Like once you get one that's good, you kind of want another?
Being with the guy with the entire back full of tattoos, I can't argue. It'd be stupid to be like, no, that's not true, man. Oh, wait,
that's not true. As you put the shirt back on,
entire back's covered. Yeah,
right on.
I'm the freaky guy at daycare.
Oh my God, you and me both. No worries there. No worries there. So I mean, you just really love to cook. I mean, I truly believe that's one of the most romantic, pure answers ever to that question. You can't complicate that. You want to do what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean that was it. I mean, you got that. I don't act very well. What you saw on TV was me. I'm a natural smartass. I'm fairly intelligent, but I just really like to cook. God damn it.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's obviously a high level of intelligence behind it because look at what you put out. I mean, and again, I can only go based on what I saw on the show until I get down there with my Ativan, Xanax, Paxil, whatever else I'm going to pack.
Zantac, Lipitor, like do a couple lines of both of those after my cooking.
That's right.
Well, yeah, you sound like the type of guy I like to hang around with. And like when you die and go to hell, I'll be fixing your plate lunch and you'll be happy for it.
Please keep the ice cream cold, would you? I'd appreciate that.
There's no cold ice cream in hell, my brother. I'm going to hate to tell you.
Man, damn it. All right, well.
But there is Cajun food.
There's Cajun food? All right, well, I'm in. I can go. Looking back over what you've done now, you just really like to cook, and obviously you've done an amazing job of it, and it's entertaining to watch. You are a persona behind it that makes the art that much more enjoyable. What would you say was your greatest creation to date? Like what you did in the culinary arts? Like what was your thing? Do you have one?
Yes, I do. I haven't answered your question, but I will say to preempt that would be that is only very few times which I consider myself an artist. I'm craftsman first. Culinary designer or some shit like that. It's white collar. It's blue collar work.
Blue collar work.
A lot of young kids think it's white collar work, and we're going to be wear pants stuff. But it is a grind in what I do. Mm-hmm. But there is that part of where the grind becomes craft, and where that craft does become art, and those few times of art come from the weirdest places. And my answer to that is I've got what's called or what I call a fresh charcuterie program. Basically, when we opened the meatery, we had a big dry curing chamber, and we did some fresh sausages and terrine and pate and capicola and andouille and all these mix of cured, fresh charcuteries and smoked and whatnot. And then I come back from a weekend, 2 days off, and my charcuterie box is dead. It died somewhere at the end of one night. Come back 2 days later, all the charcuterie is rotten. Probably $1,000 worth of meat in the fucking trash can.
Oh,
big hit.
yeah.
Big. What do we do? Okay, well, we have no choice. We're going to go fresh only charcuterie for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So we started making these big batches of daube glacé and batches of terrines and more fresh sausage. And then it's like, oh well, we need new stuff now. Okay, well let's make some chicken liver mousse, and let's make some candied pork belly. I saw this in this old French cookbook with no amounts and whatnot. We'll just candy some pork belly up, and that'll work, right? Well, it started to evolve. So, well, there's a bunch of fresh charcuterie, and I started to think about it. Why don't I have a background in Cajun country for cured charcuterie? There is none. Cajuns wouldn't hang sausage outside. You have a rotten sausage.
Right.
So the artificial charcuterie chamber in South Louisiana shouldn't exist. So I decided to go, let's go all fresh. Let's take this accident and really push it forward. And to this day, and that happened 3 years ago, we have never looked back. We have never cured any charcuterie from here on out. We are an exclusive fresh charcuterie board. Everything you see we made was made in the last 3 days. It's all rotating.
Holy shit.
It is labor intensive. It is exhausting as far as mental organization. But it is all fresh, and it is all fucking on. You eat a bowl of my cracklins after a bowl of my Rions.
Oh, don't say cracklins. Oh, my God.
Cracklins.
Oh, cracklins.
You say don't say cracklins.
Where'd that come from? Turn on the security system. I'm hearing voices. Oh,
I'm
my
happy.
God, dude. So I mean, you're a pioneer then. Or at least an innovator, wouldn't you say?
Let's not go that far.
Innovator.
Look,
Fair enough.
Refer to my business cards. Chef, owner, janitor, bouncer. Your attitude depends on which one you meet.
I love it. Oh my God, I love it. That sounds amazing. I mean, that sounds beyond amazing. And charcuterie in general, would you say has kind of caught a nice little uptrend in popularity?
Yeah, and that could be a bad thing.
I was just going to ask you, do you think that's necessarily all good, all bad, or somewhere in between?
Man, you've been at the restaurant where they got the new charcuterie program, and you eat it, and everything tastes like either stale pork or over-salted meat.
Yep.
Charcuterie, and even the dry cured stuff, is hard to do and hard to accomplish. I know that. And the guys who are doing it well should be celebrated for that. But a lot of young guys just having a little charcuterie box in an old cooler doesn't come out the best all the time. I mean, yes, you should try it out, but first you try it on yourself, and you should be experimenting on customers.
Right.
And until everybody really gets a good hard grasp. And that's just the thing. There are guys out there who are fucking killing it.
Right.
Absolutely fucking killing it in their dry charcuterie realms, not to be fucked with. And then there's a lot of other people trying to mock that, and it's just okay. Right. It's just okay. Totally. And some of it's fucking shitty. You know that.
Oh, absolutely. I've had it.
But that's for every Chinese restaurant or every Indian restaurant or Americanized restaurant, they're going to be the ones that succeed, and they're going to be the ones that kind of just suck. Completely. Let's be honest.
Completely. Yeah. No, I mean, I can think over the past 6 months, I've had low level, mid level, high level, like all across the board. I could probably give you numerics from 1 to 10 of that, and your point illustrates it perfectly. But you want to try it on yourself first, not the clientele. Right on. So, charcuterie obviously getting some uptrend on it. Are there any other things in food that you feel like are starting to catch steam that you think are going to turn into something more than what they are today?
The whole hog thing caught on for a while, and that was cool. Cajuns have been doing whole hog since the beginning because they were too poor. And I hope that continues. I hope young bucks attend boucheries, and I hope the new line cooks kill a chicken and have to defeather it.
Right.
And I hope that the young cooks go hunting for quail and hunting for squirrel and then kill them and have to cook them and go through the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
So I celebrate the humane raising and the humane dispatch of the animal. And I mean, if you're a meat-based chef, the good ones, then you should be responsible.
You should
know what it takes, or at least witness. We have boucheries. Oh, wonderful sound! I've been clicking mine off screen.
I've been hearing you guys for the past couple, and I'm like, well, shit, I gotta open one. I'm not gonna mute for the first time in 36 episodes. Here you go, kids.
I don't do Skype sober. They turn out boring.
That's right. Oh my god. So, but going back to the whole hog, actually, it was an episode in the early 20s. I want to say episode 23 was James Regato from Top Chef Boston. And he spoke about the whole pulled pork trend and how it's wasteful and how it wastes so much of the animal. And I think learning the whole hog concept, obviously that not only helps that conservation effort, but educates the masses as to all different flavors they've never necessarily had before.
Yeah, because and what that argument is like you could take that whole hog and you could like completely just slow cook it down and it'll be all pulled pork, but you'd be wasting some wonderful culinary opportunities. Mm-hmm. And that's what's wasteful about it. I mean, if you pulled pork, you get cooked meat that you could eat, but you wouldn't be getting the best. Imagine if you took filet mignon and ground it up and made chili with it. It would be good,
right?
But it wouldn't be as good as the best thing you could do with that filet mignon. It wouldn't be, would you take a dry ribeye and completely over smoke it, completely cook the olive and shit? No, you would barely cook it, salt the fuck out of it, and have a big slab of Irish butter over the top of it.
Yes.
So same with the pig. When you have these boucheries, the belly and the skin goes to the gratin guy, the crackling guy, and the organs go to the frissiere to cook the organ stew with smoked peppers, and the intestines and the liver and the shoulder to go to the boudiniere to make the boudin. The legs go to the ham guy. He's going to inject them real quick and beat the shit out of them with a baseball bat 4 or 5 times on each side to even out the pressure, and then smoke those. And those will be like the last thing you eat because it's slow smoked. These fucking hams are the size of your chest.
I love it. I love it, man. I love it.
And every station has this different timing, and because some things can come out real quick.
Right.
Your brain and your pork brain and scrambled egg. That's what you have the coffee with. You shoot your
brain and scrambled egg. Holy shit.
Scrambled eggs. Yeah. No, holy shit. Holy shit. That's what it is. Because you're eating going, motherfuck. We shot the hog, and if you've never experienced one, a lot of people are pretty shaken up and need a little whiskey or something.
Yeah.
Or a lot of whiskey.
Yeah.
Some people don't make it past evisceration.
I think I'd be all right with the evisceration. It's the shooting part. I don't know. I've never been. But if I come down, maybe we'll dispatch one together, you and me.
I'd be happy to dispatch one with you.
And then, hold me. I don't know about that. Hold my hand. Maybe I'll consider it. We'll see.
No holding the hands. I'll hold your hands if you shoot the pig. But then you'll have to look at the 30 cages behind us, going, "What the fuck, y'all?
Why is he holding his hand?
Why is he holding his hand?
What the fuck's wrong with him?"
No. Cages are actually cool with that. The secondary part is like, why does he need the elbow shoot?
Why does he need that? And why is he popping a pill from his pocket?
And shoot a pig. That's weird.
That's weird. Look at him.
The Cajuns don't care if 2 guys hold hands. The Cajuns would care if 2 guys hold hands shooting a pig. That would be weird.
That's weird.
That's weird. You're fucked up.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. My wife and I were actually just down in Mexico, and I was walking down, and there was a street vendor out in the street doing cracklins. It was the most amazing thing. And my wife is like, "Do you want to stop here?" I'm like, "I want to stop here. I want to sit here." Drank a couple beers just watching the guy doing them. Just stirring them. It's the most beautiful thing. Out in the middle of a street.
I got a side story for you. The last time I was doing like cracklins, Alamud, it wasn't in a street, but it was in a schoolyard. So I was doing this at the Edible Schoolyard in New Orleans. This was probably 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I cook cracklings, across the country, and it's all cool and whatnot. But I was cooking these cracklings in the schoolyard, and who shows up on the bus but Alice Waters?
What?
Alice Waters shows up at the Edible Schoolyard in this little, Central City school location in New Orleans, and I get to give Alice Waters a bowl of cracklings, a little cup of cracklings, maybe only a couple of cracklings. And she takes a bite of one, looks at me, and says, "Divine."
Shut up.
No, I won't.
What?
You can't reach through the screen and make me shut up.
Oh my God, are you serious, dude?
I'm serious. My wife was there to collaborate because it sounds like a lie.
No, it does. It doesn't sound like a lie. It just sounds.
But I am a liar, so you gotta watch out.
Holy shit, dude! I mean, and that's from a crackling.
Yeah.
That's when you know you've mastered your craft.
The crackling is always it's I think the Cajun version of risotto. You've got to be so fucking on it.
You
got to be on it.
up, yeah.
You got to be on it every time. Oh, I got it right last night. That doesn't count.
Right.
Did it come out good tonight? That's all that counts.
Right.
The cracklings are only good if they're good now. So it's a continued. It's always every cook that renders them and every cook that fries them. It's constant. Is they're seasoned enough? They are so fucking finicky.
They just had a special actually on A Chef's Life.
They're like
Vivian.
female orgasm, man. They're.
Oh, I forget.
I just got hit by my wife real hard.
Good, because I'd get the same shit if my wife was still awake. So, thank you, Amanda. I feel more and more in my marriage now. Cool, man. So, whole hog, great thing that's getting steam. What do you think needs to have the steam to it cut off? What has overstayed its welcome? What are you sick of culinarily?
Oh, yeah. My wife's saying my wife is saying like mimicking microgreens behind the stream, but I'm already went with microgreens,
right? Because
I've already been on a rant so many times on TV and on camera, but I'm still going to stick with it because what do those bring to the flavor table?
I agree, man. I agree completely.
When's the last time? Let's be open and let's clear our minds. And when's the last time I bit into something with some microgreens on it that says those microgreens brought some flavor and or texture to the table?
None. Wasn't it microgreens that got lit the fuck up at Neil Fraser's thing on the show?
No, I know what you're talking about, but not exactly because. It's the same thing. What are these doing here? What are they really adding to the plate?
Like what are they why?
And you know what the antithesis of microgreens would be? The people eat. People eat with their eyes.
Right.
That's what microgreens say. It says if it looks good, it must be good. So we're going to add some microgreens to it because we cut these greens that were way too young. They haven't developed flavor, but they look good. So if it looks good, it must taste good. Which
they're expensive.
And they're expensive, and they add nothing. So
I love hearing your voice in the background. And they're expensive.
Yeah.
Like that's my wife in the store. They're expensive. Don't do it.
So I've always hated using them, and then when we open up the Meatery, I'm like, I don't have to use them. No one's going to tell me to use them. Yeah. I don't feel like spending the money. They don't add any flavor. Fuck them. And when someone says, "Oh, well, people eat with their eyes," anyone who says they eat with their eyes, I will stab with a fucking pork chop for bone.
I was just going to say, jam a pork bone in their eye. See if
in
they
their
can chew it.
fucking eyes.
But that's right.
Eyes. Eat with your fucking mouth. Close your fucking eyes and think about what you fucking just tasted. You might fucking learn something.
I get it. You want it to be pretty, but at the same time, if you're at least moderately informed, a well-prepared piece of protein is as sexy as microgreens.
Absolutely.
Like, might be to somebody else, I should say.
And I'm not saying like I want my plates at the restaurant to look shitty. That's right. I did not say that. That's the last thing. That's the last thing I said. I'm saying yes, plates should look pretty when they get there, but it is not the end all. The ultra tweezified plates, the microgreens,
tweezers.
You know, you might see a spot on a plate where the sauce hit the rim.
Oh no.
We're probably going to leave that on. We don't care. If we've got an extra 4 minutes to like touch up a plate or an extra 2 minutes to touch up a plate, then that plate will have more flavor on it because of those 30 seconds, and we leave that fucking sticky piece of sauce on.
Completely.
That's what I care about.
Completely.
Yeah. Well, fuck, I'm colorblind. You said, well, this plate doesn't have a whole lot of color on it. Like, I don't care. I've never.
Yeah, I don't care. How does it taste?
I don't care what it looks like. And I still get some shit from that. I still get some shit from that from, my staff. And I was like, Chef, we need some green. Why? We need some green for green? That's foolish.
Yeah.
To associate color with taste, good flavor.
Completely
I said that sentence backwards.
Well, I followed, so I don't know if I perceived it backwards, but I followed completely. You're absolutely spot on. In my humble opinion, the microgreen, like it's like the old piece of parsley that they used to put on my grandparents' fried chicken plate at the restaurant.
It's exactly what it is.
Like, what the fuck are we doing with this? What are you gonna do? Well, you chew it for a digestive. Piss off! I'm not doing that. So...
No, I drink grappa for a digestive.
I couldn't drink grappa at... How old was I when I was going to that restaurant? I don't know.
Turns out I actually make some nowadays. But I was just thinking of... I remember the first time I was reading a cookbook, and a cookbook smacked me in the face. I was reading Au Pied de Cochon. Martin Picard said he only cooks the things he likes to eat. It was a revelation.
I love it.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
You can open up a restaurant where you own it and you run it and only cook and serve the things you want to. Oh my God! Now I want to open up a restaurant so bad.
And that's what you've got right now, man.
That's what
places your heart.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And the only time I adjust food is to my like legitimate customers, the customers who are there once a week and go, hey. We think this might need adjustment. I listen to them. I listen to my wife. I listen to my cooks. I listen to my sole customers and my general manager and my wait staff and my family. And when they come in, it's hard to get people to be honest with you. That's why I like my wife so much.
Yeah,
she's not afraid of me.
I mean that for a customer. There's another guest on the show. I do both, folks from Top Chef and folks local to here. And there's a farm to table not 5 minutes from my house right here. Toby and Sarah Diltz. And they have the Blind Pig restaurant. And it is true, honest to God, 100% locally sourced. And after I did the show, every time we'd come in, Toby would come out of the back. I mean, big, burly dude, denim apron, and be like, I killed my favorite pig this morning. I want you to try this. And it would be in a various form, but that was like the honor of all honors because I felt like he was looking at me like, your shit. And so for those customers to come into your place and to suggest, hey, maybe you do that, and then you to take that, that's huge, man. That's huge as a layperson. That's monstrous.
It's know yourself. I love the food. You love it with me. And only when you love it with me will I know to take advice from you.
Yeah.
It's not something you just walk in and say to me. Shit, people ask the servers all the time, if not all the time, but
enough.
The occasion that it happens.
Yeah.
Because it happens. I want to talk to the chef for one reason or another. My wait staff is trained to say no, you don't.
Because what are the 4 things you can be?
I can throw you out on your fucking head. Don't confuse me with someone who will be insulted.
Exactly.
It's one of those things. For some reason, people raise their voice to people in the service industry, make threats, yell at them, curse them out.
No.
And it's a wrong thing to do. It's a wrong thing to do. We're all humans. What gives you the right to curse out someone else just because you're paying someone for a service that is food? It's fucking food.
Yep. People always jump forward and say, well, everyone should have to do 2 years of military service mandated. That'll teach blah, 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 blah. I say bullshit. Everyone should have to work tables for 2 years. You will learn more from that, at least from an interpersonal level. For me, that customer service angle is key, and I've said it, 35 episodes now. I've said it straight. If you have a name tag, I will learn your name. I will address you by your name because you are working one of the grindiest jobs out there. And it sucks, and you can get shit on in a microsecond.
If you want to learn how to talk to people, follow the service industry.
Oh, totally.
And you'll know both how to talk to people and by other people how not to talk to people.
Precisely.
It's something I pride myself on. I run by 2 methods, love and fear. Fear is easier. Love is more wholehearted. But a little balance of both It's probably the best. And I won't give my equation on the love-fear.
Right.
I won't give you a 60-40 or 70-30. But all my cooks would cook for me for probably free.
I love it.
Uh,
And you would cook for free. You said it earlier. You do it for free. So what does that say? What are you teaching? You're handing it down.
a leader pushes forward, I guess.
Goddamn right. Goddamn right. And see, this is why, like, when I watch the show, and I try not to reference the show too much because I never want it to be about that celebrity.
Show.
My first guest was from Top Chef Dallas, Dakota Weiss. You know, she was the first guest. I'm like, fuck it if I'm going to start it. But I realized in that first episode alone, I'm like, I want to back off this. But I have to reference watching you on a screen, because I've never eaten in your restaurant. That will change, I assure you. But watching you on the screen, I'm like, that guy fucking lives it. Nobody else there lived it like you did. End of story. End of story.
I mean, I wouldn't have known how to fake that.
No, and you did.
Or
and it's
promote it
evident.
better without like a jackass. I mean, I really that was really me. There was no acting in there. I had some presence of camera. No, not to talk shit, but other than that, I mean, that was just, I guess it's what you get for being a smartass your entire life.
That's right. And I mean, you did well. So in any case, fanboyism aside, because I just had a moment, I'm like, oh God, Isaac Toups is on the phone. I mean, you live it, you walk it, man. It's your life, and honestly, it'll be an honor when my wife and I, probably my kids, because my oldest I taught to mince garlic at 6 years old. There's a video on YouTube of him doing it, and people's minds are fucking blown by it. But I'm like, listen, like my mom told me, you got to be able to dance, you got to be able to sing, you got to be able to cook. I can't dance. I used to teach voice lessons, but I can still cook. So it sticks with you, man.
I only got you beat by I can cook. I think I can sing, but I'm pretty sure I can dance.
You can totally dance, I bet. Amanda, anything?
He's a good dancer. I'm a terrible dancer.
Nice! See that? Bringing
What about
couples
singer?
together.
What about singer? I got my
You're a terrible dancer.
Oh, shit. There it goes. Back down the hole.
Yeah.
So what's next, Isaac? Well, I mean, you got the Meatery. The Meatery is kicking ass, taking names, especially coming off the heels of just being amazing on the show. But what's next? You mentioned another restaurant.
We've always got another plan, but we're not quick to jump. So whether we get another show out of this for whatever network wants to see the Coon Assassin or the Cajun Hammer come bring some pain to some people.
I love it.
Or the restaurant that we're always on the lookout for, but we're at a point in our lives where we don't have to we need this right now because we need to make it. We've already made it, so now we can pick and choose slowly and surely of what we really want. We've got this time now. Now we want to strike, and we're smart, or we think we're smart. I might be deadly. We can truly kind of go in the direction we want to go. So we're analyzing that real hard right now because we have all these opportunities now. Mm-hmm. Because of the show, some because of us. Yeah. And so we can really go, what do we really want? And I think we can choose that within reason.
Absolutely.
We kind of choose our method, or maybe choose all of them.
Absolutely. I mean, you laid it out there so beautifully, and that's why, honest to God, I'm not trying to blow smoke up anyone's ass. Like, when I got the yes, I'm like, holy fuck. I mean, I had Neil Fraser on for number 30. And, same amount of, holy shit, this guy. Like you carried this presence with you, man. And it speaks volumes. Totally speaks volumes. So, I mean, I think you're going to get whatever you want for what that's worth. I don't know.
You heard the man. I get whatever I want.
Whatever he wants. Get him a steak right now.
Deliver
now. Lamb chops, medium rare. So, well, that's cool, man. I'm definitely going to be tuned in, staying tuned, because, I mean, you are beyond a pleasure to watch. That's the mains. That's the where you're at and everything. So we're going to take a shift here into the last set of questions, the afters, the out and left field, if you will. I'm standing in your kitchen. You can pick whether it's at home or at the Meatery. What music do I hear?
Oh, you probably hear something. I mean, my music genre that I like is a little bit of everything. So you heard some Waylon Jennings, you heard some Johnny Cash, you heard some Korn, some Marilyn Manson.
Nice.
But what you noticed was the off kilter shit. You noticed these like what the hell was that? You noticed some satanic rap.
What?
You noticed some Norwegian death metal. You're going like
Norwegian death metal rules. I'm with you.
Yeah. And you know some that was 2 Johnny Cash songs and then Salt and Pepper played. What kind of playlist is this?
It's an awesome one.
You hear Norwegian death metal, and then right after Norwegian death metal, the Macarena comes on. These are my workout playlists, the ones I take to the gym that really fire me up.
I love
and
it.
sometimes fires me up is satanic rap, and sometimes what fires me up is, "Hey Macarena."
Hi. right on, man. Oh my God, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's that. Admittedly, that's a sorted playlist. I'm not gonna lie. That's definitely out there as far as playlists go. But I don't know. I think it fits. So, total hypothetical situation. You're gonna be stranded on a deserted island, and you can only bring 3 foods or food type items with you. What would they be and why?
Leidenheimer po' boy bread, mayonnaise, and fried oysters.
Oh,
Because I could eat a fried oyster po' boy for the rest of my life.
really? Every day?
I mean, if you've got to pick 3, right?
That's right. You're right.
You got to pick 3. Those are my 3. I don't know regrets.
And I
No
mean, no.
It's the same. It's the same for my execution meal.
Yeah.
My execution meal. I mean, I would ask for hot sauce. Would be like a 4th one. If like, hey, I'm dying, can I get a 4? And maybe some pickles. So like a dressed fried oyster po' boy, fried oysters, mayonnaise, Leidenheimer bread, Tabasco, and dill pickles, and shoot me.
Damn, the man knows what he wants. Holy shit. Well, speaking of the last meal, the execution meal, if you will, have you read Melanie Denea at all? My Last Supper?
I used to read probably 2 or 3 books a month. And then 5 years ago, we had our first child, and then a restaurant, and our second child. I haven't read a book in 5 years.
I can understand that completely. Melanie Denea did a book, My Last Supper and The Next Course, and each one was a coffee table book, basically, of 50 very notable chefs, and asked the same series of questions. I kind of drew from that format for this interview / podcast because it's the same format every show, and it's all centered around you're shipping off the next day. What is your last meal? Who's going to be there? What are you drinking? That kind of thing. So I ask you, sir, your last meal, are you still sticking to the po' boy?
No, I got a better answer.
Okay.
And it's probably my favorite thing to cook.
Yes.
If you'd ask my favorite thing to cook,
Yes.
it would be this answer. My favorite thing to eat would be the oyster po'. My favorite thing to cook would be boiled crawfish. And it sounds like a cliche answer, and I'm going to tell you why it's not.
Okay.
Crawfish only come in 30-pound sacks. Mm-hmm. You need a couple of pounds per person. You need a bunch of people. So the last meal before I shipped off for whatever it be, prison in the French Indies or war, never to come back, it would be boiled crawfish and boil hundreds of pounds of them because you would need hundreds of people. I would want as many people to see before I never come back. Cooking crawfish is communal. You need people. You need a band. You need coon-ass games with knives and hammers. You need a couple of people on the side shucking oysters. You need kids playing in the pond. You need people smoking dope behind the garage.
I love it.
And you need this eclecticism and this whole family part and everybody with different backgrounds finishing up to eat the quintessential meal of Cajun country.
I love it, man. And I shit you not. Here in central Pennsylvania, I have a gas station, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a mile away from me that has bags of crawfish in their freezer section. Gator meat, crawfish, gas station right down the hill from me. So, I don't know.
Fuck the gas station, come see me. Come see me, my brother, down at Toups Meatery.
I will fucking be there. And the
It's
last
been
question.
Awesome talking to you. Last question, let's go. Hit
Last
me.
question. Here it is, brother. Simplest and hardest. What is food to you in a single word?
Oyster.
Oyster. Ooh. Episode 36 with the unique. Why oyster?
because if you can shuck one properly, then you have truly figured out food.
Holy shit. Holy shit, man.
Remember that last shitty shucked oyster you had?
What? I'm sorry. I'm recovering. What?
Remember that last shitty oyster you got shucked?
Yeah.
It was all punctured. Somebody fucked it up. There were some shells in it. Now go back to that last oyster you had shucked properly. Pristine, unpunctured, cold, salty. And that'd be the difference in all the culinary world. You take the most perfect ingredient, fuck it up, and present it properly. The end. Good night. Hour on the dot, 59, 1 hour.
Oh my God. I wish I had a mic I could drop right now. Holy fuck. With that, my good man, Chef Isaac Toups.
Let me hang up just now. I was just trying to hang up, and she was like, she was swapping my hand away. I'm like, no, that was me dropping the mic. That was me.
Honestly, I might have ran with that. But real quick, on the outs, we got Toups Meatery, 845 North Carrollton Avenue, Nawlins, Louisiana. 504-252-4999. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Come see me, y'all.
Toups Meatery on Instagram. Be sure to check it out. My producer, as always, has been the Reverend Johnny Lamoria, Johnny Leland Robinson. Check out his Cinematic Pig's Feet podcast. Next episode, number 37. Again, thank you, Chef Isaac Toups and Amanda Toups, I might add. It's been a pleasure, guys.
Thanks, baby.
All right, talk to you soon.